What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy Mav, and I just wanted to come and give a quick video talking about the whole situation with the Lakers and who they picked up. If anybody watched my last video, you pretty much know that I pretty much called almost everybody I said they should have picked up. They did pick up. They picked up Dwight Howard. They picked up Carmelo Anthony. They picked up a shooter in Ellington. But the narrative that I keep hearing is that, they're old, so they're gonna be not good players. Your age doesn't define how good of a player you are. This is retarded to me. Like, everybody is saying, well, they're old. So those very same people, when the Lakers win a championship, are gonna be the ones talking about LeBron had a loaded team and can't win without a loaded team. So I think they got a very good complement players around them. People keep saying, Carmelo can come off the bench. I think you'd be retarded to bring Carmelo off the bench. Carmelo is the only shooter one of the few shooters they got on the team. Trevor Ariza's a 3-and-D guy, but Carmelo, I think, would be a better fit for what they do because he can spread the floor, and he doesn't. The beauty about Melo and why I thought the Lakers were demented when they didn't get him the first time was the people act like all he can do is shoot the three at this point. No, he's not. He evolved into more of a 3-point shooter because Dame and CJ were so ball dominant. His first year in Portland, where they used him more, he was way more useful for them. But it's like the second year he was there, they changed the way they used him, and they started using him more off the bench, and he was still doing really well. In that series against the Lakers, he was really the only person punching back. So Melo is a huge pickup for them. And I've been rooting for that for so long. Him and LeBron I think they just work with each other well. I used to watch them on Team USA. I used to watch them in the All-Star game. Him and LeBron play well together. They've known each other since they were 16, 17 years old. They know each other really, really well. And I think they're going to play well with each other. I already gave you my idea about Westbrook. I think that's going to work good. The only problem I would have, that they're saying they're gonna put Dwight Howard at the 5. I don't know if he's gonna start. Marc Gasol is more of a pure shooter. I think they did a good thing against Dwight Howard because Marc Gasol was good against some teams. He was bad against others. So, and then it was too jumbled of a rotation, and none of them were really that good. Drummond was like Marc Gasol with no 3-point shot. And I think that now the way that they play these guys is going to be completely different. They can play well against each other because they know they're going to play, right? Gasol's going to start. Dwight Howard will be coming off the bench. Period. End of story, right? Yeah, they may go to a small ball lineup, but one of the beauties of having Dwight Howard the year before was when he could play small ball. He could guard the perimeter. So it made it so much easier for them to go to small ball, and Anthony Davis never had to go transition into a 5. He could stay where he was more comfortable, which was at the 4. And Dwight Howard could do all the banging and whatnot. And it frees up Anthony Davis to attack the basket, to shoot, and all these things that I feel like a lot of people just didn't understand that. Well, they were like, AD is struggling. Well, AD's never been a person who likes to go down in the paint, which is why he ended up getting injured more. I think now you got a guy like Dwight Howard, free it up. Gasol, like I said before, is more of a 3-point shooter. More of a spread big, and that works. If you're dealing with a guy like a DeAndre Ayton and someone to that degree. But one thing I realized about this team is teams are going to be in a lot of foul trouble. They're you're pretty much going to have to foul them almost every time because you got 3 guys that are elite attackers of the rim, but they're also very versatile. So They can get, all three of them can get other people involved, and they can attack the rim, and they can shoot. So, I mean, people try to make fun of Russell Westbrook, but Russell Westbrook's problem was not that he can't shoot. He's more of a mid-range shooter. He's not a three-point shooter. But you put him in with LeBron, he can resort back to what he actually is, which is more of a, and he can shoot the three. I mean, he shot at 31% last year. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't. The people try to like Russ can't shoot the three. He can shoot the three. He's just more of a natural 2-point shooter. Like I said before, if you want to talk about anybody that reminds me of Jordan, it's Russell Westbrook. Because Russell Westbrook, I mean, Jordan couldn't shoot the three. So it's crazy how the narrative works around some people. But yeah, I love Russell Westbrook. I think he's gonna fit well. You throw him with Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard. I think that's going to be a very hard team to beat because they're going to be so big. You know what I mean? They're going to be so big. Like, their smallest person on the court will be a super athletic 6'4" guard who's one of the best rebounders and passers. I mean, triple-double machine. And that's the one that where's the defensive weakness? I can't find a defensive weakness on the team. I mean, if you bring in Carmelo Anthony, he does not have to play the perimeter. Carmelo Anthony he's like a tree. So you can put him inside and have him rebounding. And he's a 10-time on the Portland Trailblazers. Carmelo Anthony was a good defensive player. So I mean, you can't pick him out to take advantage of him anymore. So I mean, I just think that it's going to be a very, very, very good situation. But it's so those are the moves I like. The rest of it, I think people are just over-exaggerating. I mean, some of these guys, it's like, what? Like, just because they come with LeBron James, they're not going to go from being garbage. They're not going to go from being freaking non-performers to all-stars. When people talking about Trevor Reza, Kent Bazemore is a very good player, but he also played on the Warriors last year where they were bereaved of talent, and he played with a guy like Steph Curry, and he just wasn't that, he didn't really contribute that much. So I don't expect him to come step on the Lakers and all of a sudden turn into this unstoppable force. Now, can he contribute? Of course he can. He's a great defensive player. He got a good offensive repertoire. So I understand people being excited. But everybody talking about a super team. It's like anytime LeBron gets anybody, it's a super team. It's like, okay, let's switch this around. Let's say you put, because I understand AD and LeBron are on another level, so I understand that. You throw out Westbrook, it's a fit problem, so you don't really know what it's going to be yet because you gotta see it fit. I think it's going to fit because I remember when LeBron played with Bosh and Wade, so I don't have much of a... People who don't get that blow my mind. Well, how was he going to play with a guy who's that ball dominant? He played with Dwayne Wade. Did we forget about his years in Miami in which he had two people, neither one was a shooter? It's like we just remember what we want to remember. It's like neither one of them were shooters. Dwayne Wade can shoot the three about the same clip as Russell Westbrook does. He mostly relies on being smart and cunning, and him and LeBron had a real good synergy. I think that could easily be LeBron and Westbrook. I don't think Westbrook needs to be shooting 100 shots. And to be honest, if you watch the Wizards play, Westbrook didn't shoot that much. He may have the ball, but he definitely didn't shoot that much. So people who believe that Russell Westbrook is the same Russell Westbrook for the Thunder that was just chunking up shots, obviously wasn't watching Russell Westbrook on the Washington Wizards. Because that wasn't Westbrook that was there. He wasn't shooting. He would have, 15 points, 20 rebounds and 20 assists. That would be his really good games. Russell Westbrook does not need to shoot to affect the game. So this whole mindset that it's somehow going to be a train wreck. And that's about also when there's the story about Kawhi kind of going behind Westbrook's back, kind of screwing him over. That story was disgusting to me. Like I said, Kawhi Leonard seems like an asshole, and I always assumed he was an asshole. But that to me is just beyond. People trying to act like, well, Russ tried to screw over Paul George. No, they didn't. No, he did not. Anybody who knows Paul George knows that he was already trying to leave the Oklahoma City Thunder, and not trying to act like, oh, Russell Westbrook started working out for himself. No. Russell Westbrook had already had discussions with Paul George, and they been knew that Paul George was talking about leaving and trying to demand a trade. Russell Westbrook just did it, not just called Kawhi Leonard personally. The scumbag in it was Kawhi Leonard, because instead of him and Russell Westbrook, be a man about it. Be like, look, you know what I'm saying? That sounds all good enough, but I don't really know if our games translate well together. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a more respectful thing to do, and then turn around and be like, you know, maybe me and Paul George could probably fit. That's more respectful. I don't think to have a discussion with a man on a grown man level, then turn around and go behind him. That's some whole shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You don't need. You could have just talked to him like a man. Been like, look, you know, I mean, that's great. You know, it sounds good. You know, we both from LA, this, that, and the third. But to do that, get off the phone and turn around and call Paul George. And Paul George, I think in my mind, like I said before, that's great. But look at you now. Probably should have stayed with Russ. You know what I mean? All you've gotten in that situation. He flunked out twice on the OKC Thunder in the playoff. Nobody was talking about Paul George. Now he was pretty much getting ridiculed every time he played with Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard was way more ball dominant than Russell Westbrook. Passed a lot less than Russell Westbrook did. Rarely ever had more than 3 or 4 assists. And he had to learn to play as a catch and shoot player. Now last year he was able to come along and showcase how good he was in general. But it definitely wasn't. It definitely wouldn't be a situation where you would look back on and say, "I made a good decision there." To me, it seemed like he ended up screwing himself up. He shouldn't have trusted Kawhi Leonard. Now Kawhi Leonard's hurt. You know what I'm saying? The year before that, Kawhi Leonard went out for self and ended up throwing him under the bus. And this year, Kawhi Leonard was hurt, Kawhi Leonard was always hurt. So, did it really work out for him? Of course it didn't. It didn't work out. I say that the thing that I realized about this generation of superstars, none of them you can trust. You can rely on. Everybody under the age of like 28 is incredibly injury prone. And the ones over there are worse than that. It's like, I don't know anybody who is consistently not hurt who's a younger player outside of maybe Jason Tatum. I mean, Zach LaVine, they talked about they're talking about the Bulls. That's going to be a train wreck. I don't know why, if you got Lonzo, would you go get DeMar DeRozan? I don't understand that. They're both two guards. So what are you going to do with him and Zach LaVine? They're both two guards. So you're going to play DeMar DeRozan? I don't understand how DeMar DeRozan helps you. I mean, that's retarded. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're going to take away from either Zach LaVine or Lonzo Ball's minutes or their shots to be effective. Zach LaVine and Lonzo fit each other because both of them can shoot the long ball, and Lonzo's more of a facilitator, so he can get everybody else involved. DeMar DeRozan is a great player, but he's more of a scorer. He's not a contributor. He's not a passer. He's just a scorer. So to me, it made little to no sense to bring him in for the Bulls. I mean, you got Vucevic, who can spread the floor. You got Lonzo, who's a great facilitator and can spread the floor. You got Zach LaVine, who can shoot and spread the floor. Zach can't really pass and get everybody involved. That's why you bring in Lonzo. That makes sense. I don't understand why you bring in DeMar DeRozan. You can play him at the 3, but then he's a little undersized for the 3. Not super undersized, but he's a little undersized for the 3. And so I don't really know that and he can't really shoot the three. And when you got a guy playing that three spot, you would like him to be able to be a bomber, and he's not really a bomber. He's more of a take you off the dribble, need the ball in my hand guy. So I don't know. This is my understanding. I mean, you guys comment. Let me know what y'all think about the Lakers move, about the moves that y'all been hearing so far. Please comment. Thumbs it up if y'all like it. All right, y'all. Peace.